Learning English is a journey. Just like any other journey in life, it comes with ups and downs. There are moments of progress and moments of confusion. One of the biggest fears many learners have is making mistakes. They don't want to sound silly, they don't want to be corrected, and they don't want to feel embarrassed. But what if I told you that mistakes are not your enemy, they are your greatest teacher? Every time you make a mistake in English, it means you are trying. It means you are brave enough to practice, to speak, and to learn. No one ever learned a new language perfectly without making errors. Even native speakers make mistakes, yes, even in their own language. The truth is, mistakes are part of learning English, and without them, you cannot grow. They are like stepping stones. You step on one, maybe it shakes a little, but it helps you move forward. In this video, we are going to talk about why mistakes are necessary, how to overcome the fear of being wrong, real stories from famous people and learners like you, practical ways to learn from mistakes, and how to build confidence through error. By the end, I hope you will see mistakes not as problems, but as opportunities. Because if you're making mistakes, you're doing something very important, you're learning. Why mistakes are natural. Have you ever watched a baby learn to walk? At first, they fall again and again. They try to stand, and they fall. They take one step, and they fall. But they don't give up. They laugh, they cry, they get up, and they try again. And one day, they walk. Now imagine if the baby said, "I made a mistake, I'm not good at this," and stopped trying. They would never learn to walk. The same is true for learning English. Making mistakes is a natural part of learning any skill. It's how your brain works. When you try something new, like a new English word or grammar rule, your brain is building new connections. It doesn't always get it right the first time. But with time and practice, those connections become stronger. Think about this: when you were a child learning your first language, French, Arabic, or any other, you made mistakes too. Maybe you said a word the wrong way, or used the wrong tense. But no one said, "You are not smart." People smiled, corrected you kindly, and you learned. So why are we afraid to make mistakes as adults? It's because of fear. Fear of judgment. Fear of looking not intelligent. But this fear is a wall between you and your progress. The truth is, people who make mistakes are the ones who are learning the most. Mistakes show that you are taking action. You are practicing. You are discovering what works and what doesn't. In fact, studies in education and brain science show that when you make a mistake and correct it, you remember the lesson much better than if you got it right on the first try. Your brain says, "Oops. Let me fix that," and it pays extra attention. The fear of making mistakes. Let's be honest, nobody likes making mistakes, especially in front of other people. You may feel embarrassed, shy, or even frustrated when you say something wrong in English. That's normal. You are not alone. Many English learners feel this fear. They are afraid to speak because they might pronounce something wrong. They are afraid to write because they might make grammar mistakes. So what do? They stay quiet. They wait. They stop practicing. And that's when the real mistake happens: they stop learning. But here is the truth: fear kills progress. You might think, if I wait until I'm perfect, then I'll speak. But perfection is not the goal. Communication is. English is not only about getting every word right. It's about expressing yourself. It's about connecting with people. Even native English speakers make mistakes. They forget words. They mix up grammar. They say things like, "I seen it," instead of, "I saw it." But do they stop speaking? No. They keep going. So where does this fear come from? Maybe you had a teacher who corrected you in a harsh way. Maybe someone laughed when you made a mistake. Maybe you compared yourself to others and felt behind. Whatever the reason, the fear is real. But it is not stronger than your desire to grow. You can overcome this fear by changing how you see mistakes. Instead of thinking, "If I make a mistake, people will judge me," say, "If I make a mistake, I will learn faster." Instead of hiding, speak more. Instead of avoiding English, embrace it. Here are 3 small but powerful actions you can take. Speak even if you are not sure, you will get better with practice. Celebrate your courage, not your perfection. Write down your mistakes, and review them with curiosity, not shame. Remember, confidence does not come from being perfect. It comes from trying again and again. Like a muscle, your confidence grows when you use it. Fear is a feeling. But growth is a choice. You can choose to learn, even when it's uncomfortable. Common mistakes and why they're useful. When you're learning English, there are some mistakes that almost everyone makes. They are so common that teachers even expect them. But here's the good news, these mistakes are not bad, they are actually helpful. Let's look at some examples of common mistakes, and then understand why they matter. Confusing he and she. Many learners confuse he and she, especially if their native language doesn't use gender in the same way. For example, "My mother is a good man. He helps me a lot." At first, this can be confusing. But after saying it wrong a few times, and hearing the correct version, your brain starts to fix it. The mistake becomes your teacher. Word order problems. Example. "I every day study English." Instead of, "I study English every day." This mistake shows that your brain is trying to translate directly from your native language. That's normal. But each time you fix it, your mind gets more used to English patterns. Why these mistakes matter. You might think, "Ugh, I keep making the same mistake. This is bad." But in truth, it's part of the process. Mistakes show you what to focus on next. They guide your practice. When you notice your common errors, you can practice them more. Look for examples in books and videos. Ask for feedback from teachers or friends. Your mistakes are giving you a map. A map that says, "Here is where you can grow." Remember this. Every mistake is a small light showing you the way forward. The more mistakes you notice, the more progress you can make. So instead of saying, "I always get it wrong," say, "Great. Now I know what to fix." How successful learners use their mistakes. What makes some English learners better than others? It's not always how many hours they study. It's not about having the best books or apps. And it's definitely not about being naturally good at languages. The real difference is this. Successful learners use their mistakes to grow. Let's look at how they do it, and how you can do the same. They don't hide from mistakes. Many people feel shy or embarrassed when they make a mistake. They stop talking, or they avoid writing. But successful learners think differently. They say, "Yes, I made a mistake. That's how I learn." They don't try to be perfect. They try to be brave. They learn from every correction. When someone corrects their English, they don't feel bad. They feel grateful. They write it down. They repeat it. They try to use the correct version again and again. For example, if they say, "He go to school," and someone says, "No, he goes to school. They don't ignore it. They say, "Ah, thank you. I'll remember that." Hey, keep a mistake notebook. This is a secret habit of many top learners. They keep a small notebook or digital file. Every time they hear or make a mistake, they write it down. Then they review these notes each day, like flashcards. Over time, their English improves faster than others. They use mistakes to build confidence. It sounds strange, but it's true. Each time they fix a mistake, they feel stronger. They say, "Yesterday, I said it wrong. Today, I said it right. I'm improving." They don't let mistakes break their confidence, they use them to build it. They practice more, not less. When a mistake happens, many people stop speaking. They think, "I'm not good enough." But successful learners do the opposite. They say, "Okay, let's practice again." They repeat the sentence. They read more examples. They listen closely to native speakers. They know that practice is the cure for most mistakes. Here's how successful learners think about mistakes. Mistake equals message. It's a signal from your brain, "Let's fix this." Mistake equals memory. You'll remember it better because it was wrong first. Mistake equals motivation. It shows where you're improving. Instead of saying, "I'm terrible at English," they say, "I'm a learner. And mistakes are my path to fluency." Here are a few things you can do, starting today. Write down your top 5 mistakes. Put them on a sticky note or in your phone. Review them daily. Say them out loud, fix them, and practice them. Celebrate small wins. Every time you say something correctly, smile. You're growing. Ask for feedback. Don't be afraid to say, "Can you help me improve my English?" Mistakes are not problems. They are possibilities. Possibilities to improve. Possibilities to grow. Possibilities to become the confident English speaker you want to be. Use your mistakes. Own them. Learn from them. Because every expert was once a beginner who made a lot of mistakes, just like you.